Hi everyone, welcome back to today's bonus video. Whoop whoop. I don't normally post during the week, but I was feeling very creative this weekend and so I kind of whipped out a bunch of cards and this one actually kind of, it doesn't coordinate, but I'm using relatively the same products from my Saturday video. So I figured instead of using this for this coming week's video, I would just throw it in as a bonus video during the week, just because I really love it and I wanted to share it with you guys. So to get into today's card, I really like the patterns in this Tropical Oasis Designer Series paper. So it was a few years ago, so when I was a demonstrator previously, before I took like my long break, I actually made a project very similar to this, and I decided to kind of recreate it when I saw this design, this pattern of Designer Series paper. So that one was this, it was like a purpley, it was like a muted purple color if I remember correctly. I don't remember what color it is. If I find the video, I believe I made a video on it. If I find it, I'll link it maybe up there or somewhere. But it was like this muted kind of purple and it had bananas all over it. And I just did something very simple. It's literally the exact same design, just redone with different products, right? And so I just did a circle down here that just said hello, and it was the cutest card ever. I absolutely loved it, and I still clearly love it, because that design just in general, because I'm recreating it just with different patterns and colors and whatnot. So when I saw this pattern, it immediately made me think of that. And so, like I just said 87 times, I decided to recreate it. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a really simple one, but it's really fun. So let's get into what you're going to need for this one. So just like we did in Saturday's video, we're going to be using the Timeless Tropical stamp set. Again, we're only going to be using a sentiment from this stamp set. So if you have another sentiment you want to use, have at it. I really like the script and the font in this stamp set. I think it goes really well with just the aesthetics of this one. So I'm going to be using this one, but again, use whatever you have or whatever you feel like you want to use. For ink, we're going to be using Early Espresso. We are going to be using our Stitched Shapes dies. I don't know why I always have the hardest time saying that, but I do. And we're going to be using the circles, and we're going to be using the two smallest circles from the set. And then for paper, so this is just a piece of regular Whisper White. You just need a scrap of it. You just need something large enough to cut the smaller circle. And then same for this one. This is Daffodil Delight. Yes, it is. Sorry, I have a bunch of colors that I pulled out. So just fun fact, when I start, when I'm going to pull Designer Series paper and kind of use that as my inspiration, I then go and I pull every single stamp pad color that is listed as being part of that Designer Series paper. So I have a ton of colors pulled over here, tons of stamp sets, ink pads, paper, a bunch of stuff over here to the side. But yes, this is Daffodil Delight. And again, you just need a piece large enough to cut out this bigger circle here. Again, it's just the second smallest circle in the stitch shapes. And then for our Designer Series paper, so this is just a piece of this Designer Series paper. I think this pineapple would be really cute to kind of do the same thing. So use like an accent color. You could even do this with like Melon Mambo, I think would be really pretty, or maybe even Poppy Parade would be pretty. As like your accent color. But anyway, this is the piece that we're going to be using for today. And this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then our card base for today is in Mint Macaron. And this is cut at 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is stamp our sentiment on our piece of Whisper White. So again, I'm just using the little one that says hello, and we're going to be using Early Espresso ink. The reason that I'm stamping before I cut the circle out is because I found that here, let me pull this in. So the script is kind of, it's kind of got a little flow to it, right? And so what I found is it was really hard for me to stamp this sentiment in the center of the circle correctly, because it's kind of got a little bit of a wave to it, and because it's a cling stamp and not a photopolymer stamp, I can't see through it to truly know where I'm stamping. So I just found that it's easier to stamp first on our piece of Whisper White and then just cut out the die from there. And I've tried this like 100 times of like, oh, let me position it a little bit better, and I just couldn't figure it out. That one, see, look, that one looks perfect, right? Of course that would happen. I've tried it 100 times, and I just found that it's easier for me to stamp first and then cut after. With that though, I am going to just zap it with my heat tool really fast, because I found that the ink was taking a second to dry, and so I don't want it to smudge or anything. So I'm just gonna hit this really quick. Just to make sure that it's dry. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, so I have the two smallest circles. I'm going to take the smallest one and I'm going to center it in, center it around my sentiment here. And then as usual, just with my little piece of washi tape, stick that down so it doesn't move. I'm also going to grab my piece of Daffodil Delight, and we're going to use that with the other circle. I'm going to bring in my big shot. Oops, I have this the wrong way. That's not gonna work. There we go. And we're just gonna put our pieces on our cutting plate, just like so. Put the top on and crank it through. And then we have our two little circles. Super easy. That's like literally the hardest part of this card. Okay, so let's take these little guys out. Perfect. So now all we have to do is assemble our card. It was really that easy. So I'm going to bring my card base in and my piece of designer series paper. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to flip this guy over, and I'm going to put some snail on the back of him. And then I am going to place it down onto my card base. Sorry, I had that the wrong way. And just like so, just try to line it up to get it as centered as possible. Okay, there is that. Then I'm going to take my little yellow circle and I'm just going to put a couple pieces of snail on the back of that. And again, I'm positioning this in the bottom right hand corner. Then I'm going to flip over our little Whisper White circle with our sentiment on it, pop a dimensional on the back, and center that right in the middle of our yellow circle. And then all we have to do is fold our card in half, get that really nice crease going, and that is our card for today, guys. So I hope you enjoy this one. It was really, really simple, really fun, but it was nice to kind of recreate something that I have created a while ago that I really enjoyed. It was kind of just a nice little throwback for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's project. As always, you can find all of the products that I used to make this today just by going to littlemooncreation.stampinup.net, or you can go to my website at littlemooncreation.com, or just click the first link in the description box below. That'll take you directly to the blog post to see all of the products that I use for this, and just a couple extra words from me. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!